That's the urban verbs. And the next question. This is WHFS in Bethesda, Maryland. And the Alexandria Battered Women's Support Project provides shelter for victims of domestic violence and their children. And they're talking about training volunteers. Training is going to be held February 26th and 27th for persons interested in becoming victim advocates. You want to do that? The Alexandria Battered Women's Support Project. Contact 838-4911. 838-4911. Before the urban verbs, I heard from Alea Lay and Valley of the Kings. It's the 45 version of that. Shakti, A Handful of Beauty, and Lady L from Shakti. It's funny, somebody called up and requested John McLaughlin right during that, which is amazing with him on guitar at that very moment. Stranglers, and the newest album, Feline. It's a Small World from them. Constant Angels and What Else from their album Fiction. U2, classic song from them, the first album. And A Day Without Me. Johnny Warm is what we started out with, and the title track to his first album, Walking Into Mirrors. I'm Kim. I'll be here until 1. This is Foreign Press, WHFS in Bethesda, Maryland.
Welcome to Dave TV for the Friday the 13th. That's right, it's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th of March. Ooh. Oh. What do we got here for you today? Let's see. I was just clicking through some random images in the massive DCR TV Nostalgia Archive. Look at this. This is from 1933, the WMAL Breakfast Club. I think that is that Arthur Godfrey. It sure looks like him. It doesn't actually say anybody's name on this other than the person who it's made out to. But that's 1933 WMAL. Back when WMAL was an NBC station. Wow. And there we go. Look at this memory from the 1980s. The WAVA Power 105 Morning Zoo Family Album. And there's Mike O'Mara and Don Geronimo. Way back when. Very cool, huh? And then we've got a WBAL television. I guess when they switched to CBS. WBAL used to be an NBC station. Switched to CBS for a couple years and then went back to NBC. But this is when they went to NBC, or CBS rather, I guess in the 1980s. And WKRP moved over. And there we've got a WUSA. The movie WUSA is on Channel 5. Anybody remember the movie WUSA with Paul Newman? I was thinking I now remember the WUSA call letters on Channel 5. And some more Channel 11 memories with Dallas moving over to station. There's the WKYS memory. Here's your new KISS card, 93.9. And of course, remember Channel 20 and the Channel 20 Club? Yeah. I believe that's Dick Dizell, who was also Count Gordeval. There were several Captain 20s, I believe, but that's the Dick Dizell version. And then the shows that were on Channel 20, of course, Gilligan, Batman, Gomer Pyle, Hogan's Heroes, Bozo, Beverly Hillbillies, Get Smart, Bewitched, etc., etc. The Little Rascals. What is that? Looks like Ultraman there, doesn't it? So there we go. And then this is the Maryland Center for Public Broadcasting. This is their new headquarters there in Owings Mills, where you get MPT from. Channel 67 in Baltimore, 22 in Annapolis. And there's a really pretty postcard of a moonlight scene for radio station WJEJ's studio and transmitter there 2 miles north of Hagerstown. And then we've got some matchbook covers there. There's WANN 1190, which is no longer around anymore. That frequency has been co-opted by that new station out of Leesburg, the New Wage. And then we've got with 1230 and 104.3 on your dial in Baltimore. Okay, folks. That's the big, some nostalgia there today on this Friday the 13th. What's the big news? Oh, gosh. Anybody remember New Music? Man, this is cool stuff. Darn, I forgot this was on here. This is a tape of WHFS 102.3 out of Bethesda, Maryland in 1983. February of 83. And this is one of my favorite bands. Where did I know I got some of their stuff around here. Hold on, folks. I'm in the process of looking for that album. Stay tuned. This is one of my guilty pleasure favorite bands, New Music. I bought these albums. I actually bought these albums here. Then I went over to England and found them on CD. They never released the albums on CD over here. They're a band called New Music, and really cool. Always liked that. And I got this. This was at the Virgin Record store at on Oxford Street for £7.49. You know, in England, when you buy something, you don't have to pay sales. The taxes is figured into the price. So when it says $7.49, you pay $7.49. This is great stuff. Anyhow, New Music. Some kind of 80s, 90s, electro, retro. All right, folks. Any big news going on today? A lot of kickback in the mailbag about that FCC lady who has gone to Comcast. You know, here's a person who voted for the merger, Meredith Atwell Baker. She voted for the merger between Comcast and NBC. She's an FCC commission member. And then a month or two later, she goes to Comcast. Now, Comcast denies that it promised her a job, but it just looks bad. It really, really, really looks bad. The sad news to report, Tina Gulland. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name. Tina Gulland. Tina, Gulland. 62. She passed away on Wednesday of lung cancer at her home in Aldi. She was the woman who worked with the Washington Post from the mid-1990s up through her retirement in 2007 for their broadcast media stuff. She helped oversee the launch of Washington Post Radio in 2006. A project that didn't last very long, lasted maybe a little more than a year. They did it with Bonneville and WTOP. Remember, they flipped over the 1500 and 107.7 signals over to Washington Post Radio. Basically turned it into kind of a talker. I always thought Washington Post Radio could have succeeded if they made it a little more, not just talk, but a whole programming entity with music programming, and made it a kind of a copy of the newspaper with sports shows, with art shows, with music, and with some news. If they had really more accurately mirrored the newspaper into a kind of a commercial version of NPR. Instead, it got turned into a kind of rather strange hybrid of public radio and talk radio, which didn't quite work, didn't quite gel. Anyhow, she passed away, and she'd also worked for WWDC and WRC Radio back in the 70s. And she also worked at WRC when it was an all-news station for a couple of years under that NBC News and Information Service. And she also worked as a correspondent for Metro Media Television, TTG Channel 5. And some other sad news to report. Another death, J. Neville Harcum. He was the president and chairman of Contemporary Christian WGTS 91.9, Washington Adventist University. He passed away in his sleep early Wednesday morning. we've got the obit up on our page there at dcrtv.com. WGTS is planning to air some tributes to him, so check that out at dcrtv.com. And some happier news, Steve Buckhantz, Comcast Sportsnet's Washington Wizards play-by-play guy and a former top sports anchor at Channel 5 WTPG, has gotten married. He has married a real estate agent, Shelley Lawrence, on a beach in Florida on Sunday. So congratulations to Steve. One of the things about Steve is that he's also a grad of James Madison University. He was there a couple years ahead of me, but we both went to the same school. And I believe he worked at Channel 3, the WHSV, which was the television station in Harrisonburg, the ABC affiliate down there. A lot of people that were at JMU's communications department worked over at the TV station and the news department. I'm pretty sure he did that. All right, folks, that's Warren Zevon from WHFS 1983. Wow. Love this song. Anyhow, don't forget to have a good weekend, and don't forget to stay tuned.